Yeah, that's it. Hello everyone. You know who I am. You know why I'm here. And today I'm going to make my second presentation on this course on the topic New Rules for an All Game. This is an article that we had for reading. And this is actually about media. Which role it plays in covering elections, specifically in the US. And here is an example of Donald Trump elections in 2016. And we will talk about what went wrong and discuss a little bit and try to find analogies in other countries. But let's first think first. Content. Today we're going to talk about rules that journalists follow during the elections. We will try to find the nature of the rules, the theory behind these rules, like why historically it's how it is now, and we will make a short break for discussion about conflicting rules. Has everyone read the article? Okay, great. Then we will be more prepared for discussion. And yes, specific case election in 2016. I guess the best quote that I found out in this article is that more signifies how it's happening. I mean, the nature of this period, the nature which media plays in the elections. During the campaign period, news outlets tend to abide by unwritten rules, equivalency, giving a roughly equal amount of coverage to competing candidates. So, this is in theory. Why it is like this? There are some routines behind of this that historically formed this kind of rules. It outcomes of the nature of the process of which is like transform the many unexpected events into daily made products that we call news. Many things are happening, and the news are like journalists. They aim to collect everything and deliver to us in some kind of product, to translate an enormous amount of raw material into news with limited means and time. These news routines are the outcome of a set of organizational and professional rules, ethical rules, for example. And the author of this article called it institutions. But I always like the better word, the system. So if we will think this media as a system, we understand that there is input, there is process, and there is product. So, and how this system sustains on the means of itself. Talking about rules, we can say that most of these rules are implicit. They are not written. They're really hard to define, informal. These rules compose an assumption what we actually our expectation about what is news, and some of the rules applies on some kind of journalism specific, and some kind of it's a little bit different. And what's more about these rules? These rules are like stable historically. They have no immunity against changes. They can change. So depending on the situation. So the rule number one that is highlighted, emphasized in this article, is maintaining balance during the elections. So it is only about elections. It's not about some kind of everyday journalist routine. During the elections in US, journalists tend to give approximately the same amount of coverage and criticism. equal time and limited role of journalists in presidential debates. That's an example, for example. Balanced news coverage between campaigns and equal amount and types of attention. This is very important, not only time but attention for both candidates. It's important because that's actually what went wrong in the situation with the election 2016. Act as a neutral agency, so responsibility not only covering the candidates but interrogating them. So as I said, journalists ask very rough questions to highlight weaknesses of every candidate. It requires both neutrality and versatile behavior, fact-checking. Journalists still, one of the aims check everything that candidates say, and journalists play the part not just watchdog but gotcha. This is very important. I mean, if journalists feel there is something wrong, they must react, at least according to this rule. Yes, and rule number 4, I deliberately put it before number 3 because the rule number 3 is most important in the context of these 2016 elections. Represent public statement and simulate public involvement. So journalists must understand how public react on specific candidates, what people think about specific candidates. Horse race coverage. This is also trying to keep eye on like not exit poll, but at least understanding who is the most preferable candidate. All right, and rule number 3: generate a professional and marketable product. That's it. To create a good product, specifically one with high news value, conflict is one of the most tasty parts of this kind of marketable product. Mainly driven by commercial pressure, media have shifted their focus from informing to entertaining their audience. And this is all about profit, actually. This is about the nature of these companies to make as much money as possible, but any other means. And here I want to make a reference to a book I really recommend you to read. Really recommend. I unfortunately haven't found it online. I have this paper book at my home in Stockholm, and I asked my friend to scan a page especially for this presentation. I really recommend to find this book. This is in early 19s about television, but it actually highlights all this marketing nature of the media. That market is the one driving force. And as it in this quote said, like journalists, they tend to produce more like driven by market forces, but not their like standards and the ethics and other. And just a short explanation. This is a framework that the author of this book. So there are many like different forces that press on the journalists, news workers, and here this vertical is more like staff vertical, I guess, like editors, like company itself, controlling company, holding, etc., etc. Here are some sources. This is a more political economy stuff, news sources. Journalists dependent on politicians. And because politicians produce news for them and advertisements. And here are actually the public, and public decide by their behavior where and what should journalists put on their agenda to highlight which topics. So, short break. Conflicting rules. The first question, what should be more prioritized is probably balance in terms of the elections.
Yeah, I think so.
Neutrality.
Yeah, because I think imagine if you prioritize the third rule you presented about, that one. This is a very dangerous rule, because if you make entertainment your priority, what are you doing and what are you presenting to the audience is very. I think instead of giving information, you're only giving entertainment or infotainment. It's a concept also. So I think neutrality and balance should be kept as the priority. Yes.
Everybody saw Black Mirror. Sorry, was the Valdo about the blue bear, about elections in UK, and they kind of made a character that was just insulting politicians, and it got a lot of attention, and they decided to put him as a candidate in the elections. And he didn't win elections, but still he corrupted the balance between parties. So actually, this remind me the situation what happened in US. And here I'm gonna show you a very short part of the Trump speech. Okay, he's on charity dinner. The very rich people gathering there. They're giving money for charity, showing that they're good guys, trying to pretend that they're humans. There are two invited candidates, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And actually the organizer was like in doubt, should he invite them both, or should he like mix all this charity event with politicians, like this political chase. This is October already, 19 days before elections. So this is like right at the edge. So
these events give not only the candidates a chance to be with each other in a very social setting, it also allows the candidates the opportunity to meet the other candidates' team. Good team. I know Hillary met my campaign manager, and I got the chance to meet the people who are working so hard to get her elected. There they are, the heads of NBC, CNN, CBS, ABC. There's the New York Times right over there, and the Washington Post. They're working overtime. True. Oh, this one's going to get me in trouble. Not with Hillary. You know, the president told me to stop whining. But I really have to say, the media is even more biased this year than ever before. Ever. You want the proof? Michelle Obama gives a speech, and everyone loves it. It's fantastic. They think she's absolutely great. My wife, Melania, gives the exact same speech. And people get on her case. And I don't get it. I don't know why. And it wasn't her fault. Stand up, Melania, come on. She took a lot of abuse. Oh, I'm in trouble when I go home tonight. She didn't know about that one. Am I okay? Is it okay? Cardinal, please speak to her.
I'll give you a little bit of context for those who forgot. On the edge of elections, there were a leak of 35,000 of Hillary Clinton emails that appeared in WikiLeaks. And when FBI tried to ask to investigate this leak, this email disappeared, and she said she don't remember what was in these emails 39 times. She don't remember what was there. And yeah,
I'd like to address an important religious matter, the issue of going to confession, or as Hillary calls it, the 4th of July weekend with FBI Director Comey. Now, I'm told Hillary went to confession before tonight's event, but the priest was having a hard time when he asked her about her sins, and she said she couldn't remember 39 times. Nah. Hillary is so corrupt. She got kicked off the Watergate Commission. How corrupt do you have to be to get kicked off the Watergate Commission? Pretty corrupt. Hillary is and has been in politics since the 70s. What's her pitch? The economy is busted. The government's corrupt. Washington is failing. Vote for me. I've been working on these problems for 30 years. I can fix it, she says. I wasn't really sure if Hillary was going to be here tonight, because I guess you didn't send her invitation by email. Or maybe you did, and she just found out about it through the wonder of WikiLeaks. We've learned so much from WikiLeaks. For example, Hillary believes that it's vital to deceive the people by having one public policy and a totally different policy in private. That's okay. I don't know who they're angry at, Hillary, you're right. For example, here she is tonight in public pretending not to hate Catholics. Now, if some of you haven't noticed, Hillary isn't laughing as much as the rest.
Pleasure. Sorry, I'll post the link for you to show it until the end. About the speech, actually nothing exposed all the strategy that Donald Trump applied to attract as much attention as he could. He's genius. He's master. He's a showman. He's a really good, entertaining figure. You see, he keeps attention every second, every moment. He is a master of this discourse. And he knows what to say. He knows the problems. He knows how rotten the whole system is and how to hit as much painful as it possible. In what he's wrong, media pays more attention to Hillary? Yes. All the media at these times work for Hillary. Some of them openly said, we don't want Donald Trump going the president. Media biased? That's true. Totally biased. More than ever. And Hillary is corrupt. Obviously. Very much. And he knows it. Hillary is a hypocritical person. She is. I remember personally her discourse about, for example, LGBTQ people. How homophobic she was during the Clinton office, during the Bush office, and when she saw on the horizon possibility to become a president, she changed it radically, said, oh, I'm sorry, I love gay people, blah, blah, blah. And everybody sees that. Everybody keeps it in the mind. Even if we have a very short memory for things that happen around us, we feel it, we believe it, it's somewhere on the background. But who is Donald Trump? Is he better than them? No. No. He's trying to play a part of being some of us. Well, he says, I'm like exposing how rotten Hillary is, how rotten the system is, how rotten is all this establishment is, but Trump is a part of this establishment. Billionaire who inherited his money, he never know about poverty. He didn't live in the condition that an average American live. But somehow he knows how to speak with people. He doesn't speak with them. He speaks with us, with the audience. And here a lot about topics that we have already touched. This political authenticity. He is so authentic. He plays true himself, literally, and everybody believes it. Consistency, intimacy, ordinaries, immediacy, all these are in Donald Trump. He knows what he was doing. And this topic about fragility, about Hillary, about how the leak can change the destiny of the candidate, how it can destroy a politician figure. But closer to the research, the author of the research they interviewed 24 journalists by the phone and personally. Some of them decided to be anonymous, some of them decided to show their names. And there are some results for this. Trump controlled the attention. Even though news tried to balance the time, attention was always on the side of the Donald Trump. Because this type of coverage attracted more views. Suggestion direct conflict between the rulers of maintain balance and generate a professional and marketable product that we have already discussed. Journalists felt pressure to report on Donald Trump as he was attaching more readers. And the quote, he didn't control information, but he controlled attention. He was masterful at sort of just capturing attention. It may not be good for America, but it's damn good for CBS. And this is actually an amazing quote. And thanks that the chairman of CBS said it so openly. Because what? Because journalists, literally media, sold Americans, sold democracy, sold their ethic rules, chasing for the profit, chasing for that who attracts more attention. That's it. And Donald Trump knew about it. He's clever dude. He probably tried to analyze the system for many years, trying to find the flaws, because every system has a flaw. And this is one of them. Trump was fascinating, of course. We saw it, we felt it. Everybody was laughing in this audience when Trump was talking, no matter how disgusting this person is. We know this person is disgusting. We know this person tried to overturn democracy. He's dangerous, but we like him. We like how he speaks. We like how he acts. And why? This is the question. Why we understand with our brains that this person is goddamn bad, but still. All right. Another important moment that Trump actually touched the hearts of those who haven't been involved into political life before. Politically neutral people who never went on voting. And that's also important. People who didn't believe in American democracy, who didn't go on voting, who were sitting at home saying, I will not go because it will change nothing. just stood up and went in for voting. They found in this person, he gave them a hope that he will somehow affect all this establishment, rotten, corrupted system. In the beginning, Trump was sort of entertaining portion of our election. It was about primaries mostly, and I watched some primaries debates. He was in the center of attention, literally repeating the same thing with no arguments, with nothing. But he won. There were candidates who had some kind of plans, agendas. No, nothing. People don't need it. And Trump was Teflon, as he said, Teflon candidate in the extreme. No matter how negatively media tried to highlight Donald Trump, it didn't work. More dirt, American media poured on Trump, more attention he got, more popular he became, and closer to the victory he came. That's it. Nothing seems to matter about Trump. He was news-proof. There were a million different reasons he should have made it, and he somehow did. Well, he lied a lot. I mean, he just did. I'm just trying to read the quote. He peddled conspiracy theories, he insulted regular people. I mean, not just opponents, but regular people. He mocked a handicapped person, he insulted women. Here is also one.
Well, Chris, I am on record as saying that we need to put more money in the Social Security Trust Fund. That's part of my commitment to raise taxes on the wealthy. My Social Security payroll contribution will go up, as will Donald's, assuming he can't figure out how to get out of it. But what we want to do is to replenish the Social Security Trust Fund by making sure that we have sufficient resources.
After that moment,
and that
you don't hear the Hillary actually.
The cap and
you think about Trump.
Ways to get more money
you
into
think about what he
said. Benefits.
He interrupted
I want
and
to
took all the
enhance
attention
benefits
on
for
his side.
low-income workers and for women who have been disadvantaged.
And it works.
You see, he behaves as people behave at home watching. That's the thing.
Good point. Really
That's
good
the
point.
thing.
Yeah. Trump resonated with public, of course, as Rita just gave really good input. Trump knew what people want. How? I don't understand it. I still don't get it. How he feel people. Because most of the people didn't care about what he's saying. But they really was fascinated how he did it. I think he touched a chord with a certain segment of the public that was just frustrated about a lot of things. Again, disappointment of people, not only in some kind of candidate. Why we have this democratic decline now? Because for some people it doesn't work, or it doesn't satisfy expectations.
I think he is fantastic. He is a man that will get things done. He knows how to get good people around him that are smart and know how to fix things.
I like the way he thinks about the border, putting a wall up. He's talking about keeping the military, building it up, and he's going to help the ones that get hurt more. I just believe in him. I think he's going to be one of the best presidents there ever was.
I support Donald Trump because he knows the changes that need to be made to make our country much better than it already is.
Because he's a good businessman, and I love him.
I'm supporting Donald Trump.
That's enough. Journalists, they've been tricked so easily, actually, the whole media system, that they even didn't understand what happened. They've lost totally control over the discourse. They lost totally control over their ways how to deal with, how to behave on the elections. journalists didn't understand what actually Trump said about it, because they were trying to focus on logic, as the author of the research said, but not on the emotional aspect. Journalists didn't estimate like how people felt on the countryside, because the huge country, they didn't understand what's going on, and that's I really like it. That's actually also a key for understanding why. Because journalists are not ordinary people. They are not. They don't understand people who live in America, who wake up at 6, go on work. They like literally live on the coasts, and the journalists themselves have a standard of living that is in fact derived from most working class Americans. And how could it be that Trump felt it much better than the whole media system? I think I knew but underestimated how much anger there was at the system. I knew that it existed, but I think I didn't understand quite how. Could you please tell me?
Visceral?
Yeah, visceral. Visceral it was. I was struggling with that word the whole morning. Spent most of the time of my presentation preparation time. Okay, and result 6 about Trump presidency. It was quite raw because the paper itself being published, I guess, 2017. It was only 1 year that they could observe. Trump created a lot of traffic, like content that journalists had to react. We know that Trump has his Twitter account and he posted every day, every morning, and some journalists said, I don't know, I wake up at like go and work, and he like posted 10 posts, and we need to do something with that. So he, even during the presidency, he knew how to attract more attention of media. Profound mistrust between institutions about media and White House. And about fact-checking, Donald Trump produced a lot of fake news, fake statements, conspiracy theories. Just, I don't know, he was just, no, it doesn't work like this. We don't have climate change on the earth. I don't believe in climate. It was a question of one of the journalists. Donald Trump, do you believe in global warming? No, I believe in clear air, he said. Alright, so let's discuss things.